hockey fans, the Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. Maybe I should have left my hat on. Now I got all the electricity going. But I'm getting ready for the hockey season. I'm ready for the hockey season.
High school starts this week. The Jamboree tonight.
My name's Kenny Gallagher, along with Jerry Burrow. We've taken a couple of weeks off. And Jerry, high school hockey, the Jamboree tonight, huh?
Right.
Wow, awesome.
The show we're producing on Tuesday here, and the time you see it, it'll be Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the Lake Superior Conference teams will be at this Jamboree, and they all play They play about 3 or 4 teams for one period. So it's a good thing to get the teams acquainted with the other teams.
Well, they get on the ice and they can just start
right.
Going through some.
And half the teams the day after Thanksgiving and this weekend, Friday and Saturday, will get their first games in.
Yeah.
So and then plus Duluth East, I know. They start theirs on the 30th.
Okay.
So everything's getting started in high school.
Well, good. Any scouting reports yet on high school?
I got my rankings.
Well, really?
Oh, yeah. I put
preseason rankings.
I put the AA in last week. I was the first one to put mine out there.
Well, let's get to it. So preseason high school rankings, Jerry Burrow, Minnesota Hockey Connection. Awesome.
Okay, start off. Last year's championship team in AA. Minnetonka. I got them number 1.
Why?
Because they got a lot of their players back. They got their goalie back. They got the 2 best D paired up. And they got that. I mean, Goldsworth, as a coach, is one of the better coaches already.
Are they able to repeat?
Yes. I got them number 1. I wouldn't put them number 1.
Sure.
But it's a tough job at any level to repeat. Because you got that target on you, and you got a lot of good teams going after you.
Right.
So it's tough, but I'm putting Tonka number 1.
Tonka number 1.
Doesn't mean I'm putting them in to win the state championship, but they're number 1 in the rankings.
I think you are.
Okay, number 2, Edina.
The Hornets.
The Hornets.
Okay.
Yeah, they're number 2. They got a whole bunch of D most of them are going to the University of Minnesota Gophers.
Boring.
Yeah, and they got a lot of forwards. And a couple of them are going to the University of Minnesota.
Boring.
So we're going to call the Minnesota Gophers the Minnesota Hornets now.
Okay, or the Edina Gophers.
Oh, yeah. Number 3, Andover. Andover only lost 1 player, and that player is playing for the Wilderness right now.
1 player.
They only lost 1 player.
That's unusual.
So, and they took East into overtime until they lost. So they're a very good team.
Wow.
And funny thing about it, Andover plays Duluth East on 8th of December. So it's one of the biggest games early in the season I've seen in over 20 years.
Nice.
Because they're both in the same section, and they'll be fighting for that number 1 seed. So number 4 then, St. Thomas Academy. They got a lot of good players, and they seem to... We don't call it recruiting. They come there for the schooling.
Sure.
But they get a lot of nice young kids that come there for that schooling.
You betcha.
Okay, and they wear a uniform.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes.
Okay, number 5, Duluth East. Most people are putting...
Number 5, Duluth East.
Most people are putting East 2 and 3.
Okay.
But the reason I'm putting East 5 is they lost a lot of good players. I want them to play a few games to see how they really fit in. They have a lot of forwards that are getting in shape for this season. But you have to think about it. They lost LeMaster going to Wisconsin. They lost Meju, good forward. Worth, one of the top forwards in scoring last year in AA hockey. They lost Joppies playing up in junior. All these kids are playing up in juniors right now, so they lost a lot of good players.
Yeah.
And so let's wait and see a few games and give them a couple weeks, and if they're playing real good, I will move them up.
Yeah.
So number 5, Duluth East. Number 6, Cretin-Durham Hall. They haven't been there for a while. I think they won the state tournament about 2008 when Ryan McDonough.
Oh, sure.
He was playing for the New York Rangers, and now he's down in Tampa Bay.
Okay.
So, number 7, Eden Prairie. They always have numbers, and they always get players, and they have A lot of returning players.
Yeah.
So, and they have two of the Middlestad's brothers, younger brothers now, playing for them. Number 8, we never seen
Oh, really?
this.
Some of the younger brothers
Yeah.
of Casey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So John and I think Luke is the other brother's
All
name.
right.
Number 8, we haven't seen this team, I don't think ever, in the top 10. Chaska.
Why no?
They got 4 D1 recruits already committed on
Really?
this team. Yeah. And 2 of them are going to Minnesota.
Boring.
Well, I give you a lot of boring stories already, haven't I? How about those Gophers, though?
We'll get to that.
Number 9. Hey, this is nice. I think they got a lot of good forwards. Cloquet.
Yeah.
But they got a tough schedule. They're playing a schedule like East now, finally.
Okay.
So we'll see what that does. But they got a lot of good forwards.
All right.
So, and they got the returning goalie. Number 10, Hill Murray. They have 3D in the Elite League, and they got a young goalie that started playing real good at the end of the year. Their thing is that they have a lot of young forwards. So if they develop during the first half of the year, I think they can be a very good team by the end of the year.
Okay, so looking at this top 10 double A preseason, who's not in the top 10 next week or after the start of the season, perhaps?
Who is not in the... I'd say I'd pick Cloquet because they start out with a strong schedule.
All right.
They got a very strong schedule.
Okay.
Or maybe Eden Prairie.
Now,
Okay.
is Duluth Marshall double A this season?
Yes, they are.
Okay, this is their final double A season?
Well, they haven't said that
oh,
yet. So
I thought that's been determined.
no.
Okay.
It has not been determined.
Gotcha.
They haven't, but I bet they're talking about it.
All right. Okay.
Because the numbers are down and getting kids to come to that play, good hockey players to come to the school have been very limited.
All right.
Okay, let's go right over to A real fast. Class A. Hermantown, I'm putting number 1 because their starting 5 is as good as anyone out there. But they got competition up north here. Greenway. Greenway has a lot of good forwards, and they have a couple good D, and they found a goalie from Ohio. So,
Ohio.
oh yeah, they like the range.
Oh, okay.
Okay, number 3, St. Cloud Cathedral. They have many returning players, so they're very good.
Yeah.
And number 4, Montemita.
Yeah.
They're always strong in Twin Cities. Number 5, Alexandria. They were in the championship game last year, and they got a few of those players coming back. Number 6, the state championship. They lost a lot of players, but I saw them this summer in some scrimmages and that. They're not going to be that bad. Or no. Number 7, East Grand Forks. They won about 4 years ago. They won the state tournament a couple times straight, you know.
Yeah. Beat Hermantown.
Yep. And number 8, we haven't seen War Road in a long time, but I got them number 8. I think they're a very good team this year.
Why? What's improved?
I think they just got more players that are stronger than they have been.
Okay.
And I just think that they got the key to the rink, and they can practice at any time of the day or night they want.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that. I mean, where the kids have, the captains have the key to the rink, and they can go there. Yeah, it's a great small town story. Number 9, Mankato East. Many players returning. And that's one of the few, I mean, from the cities on down, there's just not much in Class A.
Yeah.
Number 10, Thief River Falls. So, and we'll talk after the season gets started on the teams to watch.
Sure. I
But
mean,
there's a lot of them.
Yeah, they haven't even played a game yet. But it's interesting, Jared, that you have that and you put that together and you had a good analysis on that. Other high school news or?
Well, like I say, the big season starts Friday for a lot of the teams because there's some big teams playing right away. Edina and the Turkey Trot with Holy Family, with Zeta and who's the other team? Maple Grove. They're all top 20 teams.
Sure.
And then down in Big, there's a round robin where I think St. Thomas Academy, Lakeville North, Cloquet, Minnetonka. So you got, I mean, you got 3 top 10 teams right there, and one that's close to coming into the top 10. They'll be playing this weekend. So, I mean, it starts out right away, I mean.
Okay. What else you got?
I was out in Denver this week.
You went out and saw the Bulldogs
Yeah.
lose on Friday night.
Right.
They outshot Denver 38-14.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the Bulldogs outshot Denver 83-43 over the weekend. They outshot them by 40 goals. But let's talk about Friday night. They lost 2-0. The Dogs did. Again, outshot Denver 38-14. 0 for 5 on the power play.
Right. On the first period, there was hardly any time that was 5-on-5. Both teams are in the penalty box.
Jeez.
That first period. And both teams are so out of sync. Like you're saying, no power play goals. I mean, they just were out of sync. Both teams, though.
Altitude.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
but Denver players live there.
no, I know.
Let's go.
I was referencing the UMB
Yeah.
players.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then second period, they were. Then I think it was a power play. Yeah, Denver was on the power play, and the defenseman Mitchell threw it in from the point, and there's 1-0. And then UMD just dominated, but they couldn't put a puck past this goalie.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, this goalie was on 38 saves he made on Friday night.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. What's his name? Cooley. Devin Cooley.
Okay.
He's a California boy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
California,
oh boy.
huh?
Yeah.
He's playing in Denver.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a really good game, but the Gophers not the Gophers, but the Bulldogs could not score. So they come out Saturday night now. And,
Outshot Denver 45-29.
but the first period, Denver just came out flying, and they scored 2 quick goals right away. And I tell you, holy cow, I don't think the Bulldogs were ready for Saturday night.
Well,
But
did the score go up 3-0?
yeah, it was 3-0
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah.
Right. It was 3-0. And then, but then UMD started doing the same thing like Friday night. Second period, they started just, holy cow, but they
Yeah.
couldn't put one in.
Yeah.
This goalie, they had a thing against Denver, I guess. They have a hard time scoring against
Yeah.
Denver.
So 3-0 going into the third.
Yeah. And then with about 13 and a few seconds, they finally, Sweeney gets a goal.
Okay.
And Nick Sweeney.
I believe he's their leading scorer.
I'm not sure. He has a lot of, he's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
And then Billy Exel got his first goal.
Nice goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it on TV up here, by the
No,
way?
it was not. It was only on altitude,
Okay.
shown in the Denver area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I was up in the press box. I thought, they're not going to score. So I came down. I was in the concourse because I brought a lot of family members
3-2
to the
at this
game.
point.
And it was down to I got down there about 45 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
The regulation.
Sure.
All of a sudden, there's just a mess, and Perinovich scores, and they have to go to the video for a long time to figure this out.
Yeah, I saw the replay. 1.8 seconds,
Yeah.
Scott Perinovich ties the goal, and then there was a no-doubter in overtime.
But so funny when that tying goal came in, because even the fans when saw UMD coming and coming and coming.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just amazing. They had 20 shots that third period
Isn't
that
that
they
something?
counted. There was probably more.
Okay.
I mean, so the fans there, they were just in the state of shock. And they get to drink beer and whiskey there.
Oh, well, you know.
Oh, they weren't happy.
Okay.
It just silence. And then people started leaving before the overtime.
Aha. They didn't know there was an overtime
It was
period.
just weird.
I see.
They knew. They're just upset.
Did you stick around for the
Yeah.
overtime?
Oh, yes, I did.
Hermantown's very own Cole Koepke.
He came in on the left side, and he was going full speed, trying to get around the D, and beautiful shot over the shoulder.
He said that's not where he wanted to put it.
But going that fast, how you even
Yeah.
know? I mean, he was just
And
going
it
full
was
speed.
great. It was great, and the Bulldogs get a victory in Denver on Saturday night. And, that was a good win for the Dogs.
So that, to me, that game has to give those players a lot of confidence to beat the team they just have a hard time beating.
Well, they're going to have some time off to think about it and relish in that Saturday night win. Up next for the Bulldogs, North Dakota, Friday and Saturday at Amsoil Arena. Now, Friday, November 30th, that's an FSN Plus game.
Okay.
Of course, KDAL radio carries them on the radio. Saturday, North Dakota and UMD. My 9 on Saturday, December 1st.
Okay.
So those are the next games for the Bulldogs.
Well, Fox Sports, we don't get Fox Sports up here too much.
Fox Sports North Plus.
Yeah.
We've got it on Charter.
Right. I know, but it's nice that they do a game with UMD instead of the Gophers all the time.
Yeah.
So, good. And they play North Dakota.
Yes.
And North Dakota's not happy. They lost to Western Michigan this weekend, both games. So
they got swept?
I think they're practicing right now.
They got
for the rest
swept by
every
Western
day
Michigan?
they're getting 8 hours of practice.
I thought that was a
no
split.
pucks.
I thought it was a split.
No, they won. Western won both games.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's what we're going with. What's up with the Nighthawks? Or what are they?
Fighting Hawks.
Golden Hawks?
Fighting Hawks, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The Sitting Hawks?
The Fighting
What
Hawks.
are they called?
The Fighting Hawks.
Fighting Hawks. Oh.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah. But other Minnesota teams, the Minnesota Gophers in the last 2 weeks they beat Wisconsin. They split with Wisconsin, and they split with St. Lawrence, which is not a very good team.
Yeah, the Gophers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
You think the fans are kind of restless already?
They still have fans?
Well, 2.
Okay.
Over on the right. The pitcher can't get there.
I see. That's where they're at.
Tell me more about your Minnesota Gophers now.
Well, the Gophers, what are they? They're 1-1 in conference play, 3-5-1 overall. They will host Michigan State.
Yes, this weekend. Friday
yeah.
and Saturday.
Yeah.
But then Minnesota State only played, they were off the first weekend on 9th and 10th, and they played this last weekend. They played Ferris State in the conference games, and they won 7-1 and 5-2, so they're rolling.
Now, Michigan State's 0-2 in conference, 4-6. They're in last place in the Big Ten. So the Gophers, I would imagine they're expecting a sweep.
Don't expect it.
Okay.
And don't expect anything in hockey no more. Mm-hmm. But Minnesota State is 3rd in the country in the rankings, so they're holding their own, and boy, and we got to play them out. UMD has to play them out in Arizona after Christmas.
Oh, yeah, the tournament.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get more on that.
But the team that moved into first place over UMD is St. Cloud State. In the last 2 weeks, they beat Denver 4-3, 4-3. Then they had Bemidji State in the non-conference game. They beat them 2-0 on Friday night. And then Bemidji State 7-4. And former assistant coach at UMD is the coach at St. Cloud State. And Brett Larson is doing a great job over there.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah. So I hope he continues. And we play UMD and St. Cloud State play up here at Amsoil on January 11th and 12th, I think it is. So that's a big series then.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till next year, though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. But Hunter Shepard, number 1 goalie in the NCHC, 750 win percentage, 1.26 goals against, 935 save average, or save percentage rather. Hunter Shepard, certainly integral part of what the Bulldogs are doing.
Right. Yeah, I say...
defensively, this team is pretty solid.
He's the most valuable player on that team, I say, because the way he's playing, he keeps them in games when they're not playing good. And to have a goalie like that, well, I don't know why I shouldn't look ahead, but I think a lot of these really good players at UMD are leaving early. That's just the way it is.
Hunter Miska, our other Hunter, made his NHL debut last week before.
Yeah.
So that's, well, they're young and they they're going to progress.
If you're playing good, why not? Huh?
Yeah, we'll see. But, okay, so the Bulldogs, a split with, now, where do they stand in the pairwise and the college?
I didn't look at the pairwise, but I know
they were 3rd or 4th.
Okay. But St. Cloud State moved into first place in the
coaches and
USCHO.
And that's appropriate.
Right. That's all right. Minnesota Duluth's 2, Minnesota State, so 3 Minnesota teams still are 1, 2, and 3. That's good.
Isn't that something? St. Cloud, Mankato, and UMD.
Right.
Wow. In the nation.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Massachusetts hasn't been up there in a long time. Massachusetts. Yeah.
What's that?
Number 4. I don't know how they got there.
Okay.
Ohio State, 5, Penn State 6, Denver number 7. They held 7. Notre Dame 8. So the Big Ten is doing a lot better as a whole. When they first opened up the Big Ten in hockey, they were terrible, all the teams, but they're doing pretty good now. Providence, which has been a good team in the last 10 years. Quinnipiac, they've been in Frozen Four. Union, they've been in the Frozen Four. Bowling Green, they've been playing good. They're in the WCHA, so they'll go against Michigan Tech at the end of the season in the tournament. Northeastern, Michigan, 14. Cornell. Now this is a surprise to me. Arizona State, 16.
In the coaches poll.
Yeah. There's a team that just started 3-4 years ago.
You know, I kind of like this. Arizona State, you get somebody down there in the southwestern part of the country, and they're doing fairly well.
Right.
And the Bulldogs will be down there in that tournament December 28th, 29th.
They play Minnesota State Mankato.
Yeah.
First game, and then they play the winner of the other game. I think it's Union and Arizona State.
Okay.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Juniors, Minnesota Wilderness up here in Cloquet, they won 5 in a row now.
Nice.
Yeah, and I tell you, get out there. It's good hockey.
5 in a row, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
And then the other Minnesota teams, Austin, let's see, they won 1, 2. They're 2-2 in the last 4 games. And then the Minnesota Magicians, down in the Twin Cities in Richfield, they play their games. They won 4 in a row. So the Minnesota teams in the juniors are playing decent. They're all in the top of the junior rankings.
In women's hockey, the UMD Bulldogs are 3-6-1. They're in 4th place. Wisconsin, number 1. 13-1 overall, Wisconsin. Minnesota's 10-2, but the UMD women, when do they play again?
I think they go out east to play Clarkson.
Let's take a look here. Women's hockey. You are correct. November 23rd, 24th. So this weekend they'll be at Clarkson. And then the Bulldog women will be home December 7th and 8th to take on Minnesota State. And then at the Minnesota Cup on January 4th and 6th. What is the Minnesota Cup? Is that in Minnesota?
That's like
Gophers
when the boy, yeah, they do it at Ritter, I think.
Okay.
And they bring all the Minnesota teams.
Nice.
So there'd be Bemidji, St. Cloud State, UMD. They bring, I think, just 4 of them.
Yeah.
One stays out every year.
All
Like
right,
they used to do that with the men.
All right.
I didn't bring my. Well, let's Huffer Christensen, probably the.
You know, Jared, now that you bring it up, the last time we taped, it was the day that we learned that he passed away, but we didn't get time to talk about it because, well, we didn't know until we were done taping.
Hour later, that came out.
And so we didn't get a chance to talk about this. But former captain for the Bulldogs out of Fort Francis, Ontario, he played at high school at International Falls, brought that team down there, won a state championship. And his son and his daughter spoke. And the thing about his son, that his son talked about his hockey career.
Right.
He said, I had everything except my dad's hands.
Right.
And isn't that something? How the hands of a man or a woman can make the difference between you being a great player,
or a good player,
or just a so-so player. And Huffer had the hands.
And the best thing that his son said, too, that his dad never put pressure on him to be like him or anything.
Yeah.
He just let him play, and he just watched and enjoyed
we got in the car. And
I wish more parents would do that.
Yeah.
Let their kids have fun.
Yep.
And if they're not going to be great, that's all right.
Don't analyze the game.
Right.
Don't tell them what they did wrong or right. Just
There's
let
too
them
many
be
parents
kids.
that yell at their kids what they did wrong. The kids don't want to hear that after a game.
Huffer's going to be missed. 74 years old. The opening game at the new Duluth Arena, he had 6 assists. Record that still stands. They beat the Gophers 8-1. Pat Francisco talked about it, but it was really neat to see the 66 team that was there, those that could make it.
Right.
And then
almost everyone.
Yeah, the 72 Olympic team was there.
Yeah, they had.
And I'm looking at the jersey, and they're talking, and it really didn't strike me. The guy from Boston was talking about how he wasn't going to have any East-West division on this team. Huffer, went over and, but he was the captain of that USA team as well.
Right. Yeah. And then one of his players on that team from back east, Huffer and him became great friends, and he spoke too. And Huffer was just there for almost a week before he died. So the closeness of that team and both teams. I mean, the UMD and Lefty Curran was there, and he was on the USA team in '72, but they were our teammates at International Falls in high school, and Lefty and I used to talk a lot. And Huffer, just a great person, and a great father, he's just a good person.
Well, I was young when he was a senior, and I may have gone to that game with my grandfather. He used to take me to UMD games, but I just don't remember his career. But what I do remember is as he got older and, went to the Olympics, went to the WHA, it's like, how's this little guy doing all this stuff? He's playing in the WHA for the Minnesota Fighting Saints. That was a tough league. And here's Huffer at 5'6", maybe 5'7", and but he got it done with his hands.
He can see that ice, and he could pass that puck.
And he could skate.
The open player,
and he could dodge the nasty check.
Right.
And Huffer was the best team on every team he was on. And all those guys there agreed.
Right.
Whether it was his high school team, that Bulldog team, or even that USA team, Huffer was the best player.
Right. And another great loss is the Minnesota Wild original owner, Robert Negley.
Yeah.
He passed, and they had his wake yesterday.
Okay.
And funeral,
Well, we've got
a lot of people showed up for that, and he was another great owner, and he never lowered up like he was above anyone. He was.
We've got to go. We've got to go.
We do.
Zach Parisi became the top goal scorer, Minnesota-born player. He surpassed Dave Christian, who had 340. And so Zach Parisi setting records and milestones.
And the Wild have to get it going again. They lost a couple here.
We've got to go. We want to thank the staff at PACT-TV. We want to thank those folks there and where this tape is produced in City Hall. Go to our website, MinnesotaHockeyConnection.com. Go to our Facebook page. Find us and like us there. We have a YouTube channel. Check us out on YouTube. And with that, Jared, we'll be back here next week to drop the puck.
And we'll have some high school coaches come in as guests.
We'll see you then.